Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Full disclosure, I just realized this was Zoom because the other 7,000 interviews today have been phone calls. So
okay.
I wore my favorite tracksuit for you guys. So
well, you should have known it was Zoom because you know how much I like to see you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Creepy way possible. You look better than both of us, and we dressed for work today. So
I think I look pretty
you guys
good.
Look great. You
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that's kind of a low blow there on the morning.
Oh, it's fine.
You should listen to our show. I'm used to it. Yeah. Now this is cool for us because this single. We've been talking to you about this song I think we talked about it pretty in depth, the Country Thunder this year, but couldn't say a word about it. So now we can finally talk about this incredible duet with legendary Alison Krauss, which blew your mind when it first even came to the table, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to just use the footage you have from talking about it in the summer, or should we rehash it?
Maybe.
Well, forget it. We'll just use it.
Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine if you're like, you know what? I actually recorded that, so on my iPhone.
We're good.
Yeah. No, it's been nuts. We dropped a little, a teaser, you could say, of this collaboration in the most unrealistic, nobody would ever have guessed it. But we dropped an EP a few weeks ago called the Bergie Remixes, where Alison's son did EDM versions of Make You Mine and She's With Me. And I don't think there was anybody on the planet that's like, I bet they're about to do a song with Alison Krauss. But so I've been in the house a lot because I work with Sam, her son. And we haven't made a big deal out of it because Sam has done a really good job of not kind of riding her coattails. He's done a really good job of being his own producer, his own writer. He plays bass and sings for us on the road, and just an awesome kid. And I knew him. I never knew who his mom was until I started going to his house to work with him. And then we'd have band rehearsals and stuff in their house. And lo and behold, there's Alison Krauss walking around making everybody lunch, and just amazing. So we recorded the album, and of course, because he's producing a lot of it, she hears the tracks, and she heard Do This Life, and Sam started telling me, my mom loves that Do This Life song, and she loves your voice on it. And I kind of thought, that probably wasn't quite as good as he made it sound. But then she told me that in person sometimes when I was at their house, and finally it was like, all right, let's do this. So we got to record the song together. I never would have brought it up in a million years. I just never saw it coming. And I'm still kind of shocked. I'll be honest. Now it's real. It's not a secret anymore. And it's really, really cool.
Well, because we talked about this with you in August at Country Thunder, and I think maybe you might have even hinted about it a little bit earlier than that, maybe.
Yeah.
But not publicly. But has this been hard for you to keep under wraps? Have you just been dying to show people?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I couldn't show people because all I knew is that she wanted to do it and that she was doing it and that we had a release date, but we didn't have the song.
Okay.
She had a certain mic that she uses because, she's Alison Krauss. She's not going to just go to Guitar Center and pick up a $5 mic. So, and this special mic that she uses supposedly is made overseas somewhere or something. I can't remember, but it was the only one of them that they had in Nashville. Something was broken on it. And she calls me, and right before, I'm talking 3 days before the deadline, and says, hey, there's something wrong with the mic and we're going to need to get it fixed, or we're looking for another duplicate version. And I told my wife, I was like, watch her need to ship this thing overseas for a few years before we ever get this in. And finally she got it done. I found out about 10 p.m. I was at their house at 9 a.m. putting my vocal on it. And then later that day we got it mixed, and the next day we had the master. So it was the fastest turnaround. Wow. You guys probably heard this song 48 hours after it was created.
Yeah.
So what's cool to me is, and I know a lot of artists are like this, you kind of need to have a spotlight shone on something you wrote or you've done to be like, this is really good. Did you know Do This Life was a special song before she was into it? Or did all those compliments have to come to you oh, maybe this is a really good song?
No disrespect to any of my songs or anybody else's, but I feel like after X amount of years of saying, this is the best song. This is the most I've ever. At some point, you have to just say, every day you're going to, hopefully, if you do your job halfway decent, they're going to be good songs. But I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I love tons of songs. And I Do This Life, to me, sounded like a radio hit. It sounded like something fans would want to hear. But there was a lot of songs on the record. Do This Life was going to be track 1 on the record. It ended up, I don't remember, but I think it's like 9 or 10 or 11 or something. So at last minute, we kind of pulled an audible and called the album Way Back and decided to move Way Back up to track 1 and Do This Life. Never, let's be honest, if Alison Krauss hadn't raised her hand, it wouldn't have probably got a shot.
Wow. That's so
radio.
Cool.
And looking back, there were so many people that we even hired A&R people. And I have 3 different emails of people weeded through the whole album. They all picked Do This Life as the #1 radio single. But at the time we had Whatever It Takes, and then we had the whole collaboration on Whatever It Takes, and we had the Granger Smith thing. And so this is one of those cool stories where it's like She's With Me. She's With Me was never even supposed to make the album, and at the last second it got on there and ended up being our biggest song ever. So you just kind of got to trust the process and know that a song will find its home eventually.
Well, you basically were just saying that you used to think this song's so great, no, this song's so great, and now is it just kind of like the mindset, like, okay, everything I do is great. I understand.
That's wow. I feel like I should be blushing and apologize now for. No, that is not what I meant at all. But I think what I meant to here. Let me rephrase that. I hate when people say, "Don't make me choose my favorite song. They're like my babies." It's like, no, they're not. Go, like, you probably got real babies. Just write songs and then write another song. Like, they all should be very special and important to you. And Do This Life was literally based very, very loosely on a dream that I had. And I walked into the writer's room and said, hey, like, what if we started this song? I had a dream the other night that right was wrong and wrong was right. And we spiraled out of control from that point forward, like songwriters should do. And we tried to make it sound like as much of a hit as we could. And I would be lying to you if I said that every day we write something great. Whenever people say, I love your songs, what I should respond with is, no, you don't. You just love 1% of them that you've heard on the radio. The other ones suck.
I feel like I have so many questions about you saying that you're trying to turn it into a hit, because I'm just, as on a personal level, very curious about what in your mind creates that. But when we were listening to it, and I might have misheard it, but I was curious, is there a key change between the first verse and the second verse?
Yes.
Because that's a common thing to do.
That is it's very uncommon, unless this was 1988 or early 90s pop music. But Brad Rempel, contrary to popular belief, cannot sing in the angelic register of Alison Krauss. So we had to have 2 different keys. Yeah.
If you couldn't agree on a key, so you just had to go back and forth between you?
I agreed like this. Hey, Alison, whatever key is good for you is the key we're doing the song in. Yeah.
So this is so cool to me. You'd heard that song before. Take me to the moment you got the master back and you heard her on the song for the first time.
I cried very little bit in a very manly way, in a very
and single listening here.
Yeah, just it was an organic, purified distilled water tear rolling down my face.
Let out a grunt on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. But I cried a tiny little bit. Mainly out of shock, I guess, knowing, you guys know my story, you know what I grew up on. If you could name one male and one female that would have been instrumental in my idea of what the biggest stars in music history were, it would have been Ricky Skaggs and Alison Krauss. And now Ricky's done Make You Mine with me, and Alison Krauss has done this one. So I think I'm going to retire. This is probably my last interview ever. Right here. Yeah.
Boy, what a sad thing to end on with us. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, I probably have 86 other stations to call today. It'll be fun. Yeah.
Oh, you make us feel so special. Thank
you. Hey, you guys are the best, though. You're the funniest and the best. So
we feel like one of your songs. You're lying.
You're like one of my. You're like making me choose between my children. You know, all of you radio hosts are like my babies.
Can't pick just one.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Any news on when you might be rolling back through again, or is that all tight-lipped for now?
I think there is. I think there is news about to break. I'm a little yes, we're definitely coming back through. I just can't remember if it's been announced or not, so I'm going to play dumb and say go online and see what it says. Yeah,
that's fair. All right, well, when we do see you, we can't wait because it's always such a blast to hang out with you. So,
and I hope you also, when we think of you, we think of walking in on you doing tricep dips on your backstage at Country Thunder.
I thought we had agreed you weren't going to tell anybody that.
It's off the record now. We're not going to put this in there.
No, people are supposed to think that when I strum my guitar, the tricep bulge just naturally happens from the resistance of the strings.
The second
I don't even have that. All right. Well, enjoy the 86 other stations. We love the song. We'll play it tomorrow on the show. We always love time with you. See you, buddy.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Take care.